Hello, YouTubers and all those who happen to watch. Hope you guys are all doing quite well. So, this is hopefully going to be a chain or a video tag for folks who watch my channel. Now, what this is the first video game I've ever purchased, and this was something I bought via Funko Land. Now, I saved up my money for this game as well, and it was Rocket Knight Adventures. This is the same exact copy I've gotten from that store. And trust me, my brother's tried very hard in the past to try to get this off my hands. He tried as hard as he could. he was obsessive about it for a while too, and I guess he got over it. But, you know, I purchased this for like 35 bucks. You know, that's to tell you how old when I purchased this game. And it was such a treat to get this one. It wasn't really a blind buy. It was just, I was just excited about it. I looked at, you know, advertisements in magazines such as Game Pro and, you know, store inserts and everything. And, you know, I was so high off of playing platformers when I was younger because they were just simple, easy fun that I looked at this game and said, hell yes. I mean, it was this game was challenging, don't get me wrong. It wasn't hard, but it was challenging. And, you know, to this day, you know, you could tell that I took really good care of this game. You know, the insert is, you know, the manual is obviously slight creases in there. And the cartridge or the cassette itself is still in, you know, immaculate condition. Not immaculate, I take that back, but in really, pardon me, good shape. And, you know, I was really proud of, you know, this game when I got it. When I initially got it. This was the first game I've ever purchased, and for a while when I was younger as a kid, as a reward for doing, you know, doing good in school, doing decent in school, or, you know, whatever else, my parents would every once in a while, because obviously they were on a budget, get me a game. But I wanted to get a game where I really worked for it, or saved up for it. I mean, the same goes with my PSP. I saved up until I got that eventually, but this right here was something I was really proud of. I was just the self-accomplishment, the stride to be able to obtain this game. I mean, yeah, granted now it's like 12 bucks and get this complete on eBay or wherever else, so the value of this dropped down dramatically. But this game to me is, even when I always look at it, I always smile and think back when I was younger and how I was able to grab this game. And you know, it just makes you look at how life just goes by you, and it's like, oh, you know, it's kind of a depressing feeling, a little bit. So, I mean, I'm looking back on it right now in this game, and it just had so many cool elements to it. I had a lot of great elements, you know, I had this little miniature, you know, huge shmup in there. It had platforming elements, it had, you know, quick time elements. It was just a complete package where it didn't draw itself off too far away from the core gameplay, but it still gave you variety to keep you going until the end. I mean, the recent, obviously the revision of Rocket Knight Adventures was not that great. A lot of people did not care for it. And, you know, for me, honestly, I didn't think it was that great of a remake. A lot of people say, oh, it's great, you know, even though they probably played it for 5 minutes and just say, oh yeah, it was amazing. It was like, you only paid for 5 fucking minutes. But, yeah, I mean, honestly, the demo I've played of it, which gives you a decent chunk of the game, like different variety elements to the title, I mean, they were trying well, but they did not, I mean, this is not me thinking nostalgia, this is me thinking core gameplay, and, you know, obviously this was a lot better than that. Because, you know, if I played this versus that now, I'd just be looking at this one going, this was a lot better, because Konami, granted, were a popular company. They were, you know, on the top of their game, pardon the pun, and they were pretty much striving to make creative things. I mean, when you look at this game, it's, for one, certified Rocket Knight. See, that joke always makes me crack up, and every once in a while I like to look at that. That means one player, but that... But anyway, put that aside there. I look at older games and newer games now, and I mean, this is an old subject I've brought up many times, but I look at how some companies, when they first come out, they have so much to work for, so much to strive for. They're hungry, they're starving, so they think of ideas that most normal companies don't have the time to do, and they do it themselves, and they succeed, and then they somewhat become established because those ideas people want and demand in a video game. Granted, they do not have the biggest budget in the world, but they still crunch the hours and put in more time towards the game. I mean, that's why a lot of people nowadays, especially when it comes to applications and mini games or games from third-party companies, even though technically they're a company, and they just pump out these awesome games. I mean, Konami and Capcom and these game companies are just awesome. I mean, yesteryear they were made to build to last, so to speak. They were not too complex, but at the same time they were challenging enough to keep you on your toes, challenge you, and keep you going. And when I bought this game, you know, I breezed through it. I was having a blast. I was enjoying the hell out of it. And I look back at it now, and I just think of how funny time passes you by. You just feel old, you know. I mean, it was how many years was it ago? 21 years ago, you know. It's just, you look back from 21 years ago from now, and you look at the games that were around when you're that child then, or that, you know, mid-teen then, and it's just wild, you know, just how fast time develops itself, how fast, you know, from that achievement, from feeling accomplished for getting this materialistic item here, this video game, you just, I don't know, I mean, I feel like I'm proud that I was able to achieve something. And when I'm supposed to be doing something even more important, you know, it's always good to reflect on the fake things, which is materialistic things, such as, you know, grabbing a Rocket Knight Adventures, or, you know, finding a rare game or whatever else. You know, most of these little accomplishments people sometimes critique or criticize. You kind of look back at those people and go, well, what's wrong with people having joy in their lives? What's wrong with these people having these short bursts of, you know, enjoyment? I mean, yeah, they're supposed to have important things where, like, you know, doing essential things in life, but, you know. So I look back at that first true accomplishment of me saving up the money to purchase that game, and I always say to myself out loud, you know what, if I can save for I mean, it wasn't, that's, nowadays, $35 to some people was like penny change or whatever, even though the economy's shit to them and whatever else. I look back at it and go, well, you know what, if I can still save that long for that game, because, you know, when you're a kid, you know, $35 is a lot of money, so, you know, saving for that takes a long period of time. So that title right there is sort of like I'd say a milestone, even though it was such a minor thing to most people. And it still tells me, you know, I mean, as much as I applied for jobs, or, you know, how shitty life can be, you always have to work harder and work past all the horse crap you're dealt with. Because if you keep on sitting there, you keep on worrying and being down because of all this shit that happens to you. I mean, I'm cussing, I apologize, but I've got to say that it's not easy to tell yourself to take a time to reflect. You can't. Life is too short to stop. You know, that's why I've been stubborn and I would say a nuisance to some people, but, you know, very stubborn when it comes to trying to find a job. I mean, some people say, oh, just kick back a little bit, relax, you know, it'll come to you eventually. That's true, but at the same time, you know, this house could burn down around me right now where I'm living at. And, you know, I don't have shit. And I'll be living in a cardboard box, reflecting back on that now melted down ROM cart inside of a plastic case with some artwork on there, and go, well, fuck, that accomplishment was for nothing. Or I could have a sense of, I mean, again, life throws you interesting curveballs. You just gotta learn to pitch with it. You know, that's pretty much a summary of that. But again, what is your, first accomplishment, or what was your first game that you purchased? When you were a kid or when you were older? I mean, the first one you had with your own hard-earned cash. What was the first game you ever purchased? And do you still have it, if possible? So, again, comments down below. If you don't have a video camera, don't do videos normally, or if you do videos or vlogs normally, please, and delight me with your indulgence of vocal diarrhea, or in this case, nipple touching goodness. So, as always, take care, everybody. Spike your hair, and oh man, I'm the one female gamer. Don't you forget it.